All right, everyone. We're starting off another episode of Car Talk.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us again.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Morning podcast this time.
Yeah.
Didn't have as much coffee, so I don't know if I'm as wired
I
as...
put vodka in here. That's what I'm doing.
That works.
Gotta get they started.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. We did chit chat for quite some time.
Yeah, we did.
Before we started.
We got derailed.
Yeah.
Wish we just had a camera that's following us around.
I know.
Some
We
of
should
this
hire someone.
Yeah.
Just have a little.
That's what the world wants to see.
Yeah.
More of us shooting the breeze.
All right. So on this podcast, we thought we'd discuss OEM factory wheels that we found appealing, the best OEM factory wheels that are appealing, and also the worst OEM wheels that were out there, and the best aftermarket wheels that we found appealing as well. So in that one, let's dive into the board and go through it. But when it comes to picking the best OEM wheel or aftermarket wheel, what are some of the things that you look for?
Yeah. Well, let me say an OEM how I selected mine. I think what's a good telltale sign is when you see the wheel, it's so iconic that you can identify the car just by a shot of the wheel. Mm-hmm. Like I think that tells you that wheel is special or something different about it. So that's kind of when you see mine, I think everyone who's a car person will easily identify what the car attached to it would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is very much a BMW wheel. This is very much an Audi wheel.
Right.
There are some iconic BMW wheels that stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah. My choice, I guess my OEM iconic wheel is pretty iconic. The minute you see the design, you'll know kind of where it comes from.
Yeah.
And you can remove all the emblems and badging and you'll know what make that wheel belongs to, right? So it's a wheel that has stuck, throughout time. And it can be put on a modern day car and still look good today.
Yeah.
Or a lot of current wheel makers have taken that design and
Modified it a bit.
Yeah, make it more modern, maybe bigger dimensions, proper offsets, but they maintain the design of the wheel because it's timeless. It still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, comparing like the old school setup to the modern setup, wheels have gotten massive.
Yeah.
Fitment also has gotten better.
Fitment, I guess to some extent, yeah. Sizing, 100%.
Yeah,
I
like 23-inch wheels.
I posted a picture the other day of I guess one of my contacts or people on Instagram. He has an E46 M3, and his friend bought a new GT3 992, and they were parked side by side in the garage. And there was a picture of the two rear fenders side by side. And the OEM like M3, or actually it was an aftermarket M3 wheel and like an 18 or 19 inch. And then the 21-inch GT3 wheel next to it with the overall diameter that's larger by almost 3 inches or 4 inches. Like
18-inch wheels to 21, right?
Yeah, plus he has a lot of rubber on that GT3.
Yeah.
So it looks like an SUV wheel on a modern day, performance car.
Well, even like cars like the RSQ8 and the RS6.
23s, 22s.
23-inch wheels are not unusual anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Tarsi's rocking, 23s?
He's on 22s, OEM.
Yeah.
Like the X5s are all on 22s, the performance models.
Your X5's 23s.
I'm on 23s, but they don't look too big.
Yeah, it looks proportional.
The cars are larger and the body's, more sculpted and and muscular. So
wasn't there a ratio that people talked about, like the wheel size to proportions of the car? There's some sort of, you don't want the wheels to look too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
don't
don't
want
want
it
a baby buggy.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a recipe for like a formula for that. I think that's just something you have to
Eyeball it.
You have to see, and a lot of the times it's like a monoblock wheel will look larger than a 3-piece in the same size. So you can actually up or downsize depending on wheel style and model, and it won't look bad, you know? So yeah, that's all I think kind of visual.
Because like there are those, I guess these ideas of putting big, massive, like, I don't know, 30-inch wheels.
Yeah, the donk stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's not what we're into. I think.
So we're not even going
Speak
there.
for yourself, Eric.
I still don't get
knew
it.
it.
I know
There's a
I know
hidden
we
side
talked
of you.
about it, but I still don't understand that part of car culture because it's just you're killing any handling aspect of the car, and you
there is no
see them
handling,
on
yeah.
what are sport like Mustang GTs and what are supposed to be more sporty cars, but they're rocking 30s.
Insert that clip with Bubba and his girlfriend. You know when they're the whistle tips? And then, it's all for decoration. You haven't seen that? No?
Okay, you got to send me this after.
Okay.
When you want to woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the flows. They didn't trip out the flow masters.
That decoration, man. It's just for
Yeah.
decoration.
That's
That's it.
it.
And that's all, man. We do it for decoration.
You have it in your car?
Yeah, I got it on my car.
All right, so maybe we'll dive into
All
the
right.
board. We'll start with, well, let's get into the board.
So I think we're starting with my pick. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So so you can see the car, so no mystery there.
So wait, this is the best OEM
I-
wheel for you.
This is what I consider is one of the best OEM wheels ever made. And I think if you just went down to the wheel and you didn't show the car, I think most people would recognize that's an F40 wheel. It's center lock design. It's a 3-piece. It's made by Speedline, which is an Italian wheel company that did a lot of, even prior to the F40, like the 308s all had Speedline. And then I think cars even after this, like the 355s, they were the wheel maker for Ferrari.
Wait, who was it?
Speedline.
Speedline?
Yeah, it's an Italian company. They were actually like, I just did a bit of reading. They're now owned by Romeo. I think we all know some of their designs. It's a German wheel company.
Rohan, you mean?
Romeo.
Ronau. So have you ever heard of the teddy bear wheels?
Yeah, the maker of that teddy bear wheel.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
Ronau wheels.
That's the company. They do other brands too, like Borbit, and I think the bigger company. But they bought a bunch of small like
Are
Speedline.
they
and-
German?
Yes, Ronal is German.
Yeah.
So Speedline was Italian.
What was the mindset behind a teddy bear wheel?
You've never seen this wheel?
I've seen it, but like,
Yeah.
Well, I think it because
Just an option.
Yeah. for
That wheel was
customization.
that. I don't know. I remember when we used to buy magazines at like Chapters or have subscriptions to
Yeah.
Motor Trend or Car and Driver.
Yeah.
Every few like pages they'd have like the wheel and tire guides or for sale thing from Tire Rack.
Right.
And you'd have that teddy bear wheel there as an it's just
I've never seen it. That's why I'm
on a car. You mean?
Yeah.
On a car, or you've never seen the wheel?
No, I've never seen it on a car.
Well, let's make that.
Yeah,
Let's make that
there you go.
possible.
Which
GT3
car are we gonna
RS.
throw under the
GT3
bus?
RS.
Yeah.
Brush gold. Teddy bears.
Yeah.
Eating gummy bears along with it.
Listen, one of one.
Chloe would love it.
One of one. One of one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a 17-inch wheel, so it's not massive, but it obviously looks really proportional on the car. The back was 13-inch wide, so massive.
Yeah.
At the time you're sort of pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
In design, wheel design, as a greatest tribute, a lot of wheels today, like you still see a modernized version of this wheel. A lot of wheel companies.
Boy, HRE.
So HRH actually makes a wheel almost like that. It's part of their vintage series, and it looks almost like that wheel, but it has obviously it's finished nicer. Where I think the center, I'm not sure if it's reverse mount, but the hardware is not in the lip; it's in the center, so it's easy. Looks cleaner, easier to clean.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that tire on the sidewall. 245 4017. That'd be the front wheel. Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, that's GT3 RS spec, other than it being a 17-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 245.
Yeah, but just look at the tread profile on the side. It looks like a snow tire.
Yeah, it does, eh?
By today's standards, right?
Yeah.
Pirellis too.
Yeah.
That's what they make. I mean,
That's the F1 kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
before Michelin sort of started dominating the market
Right.
space.
Yeah. There's actually talks about Michelin getting into F1, and I think they were approached, but they're just not interested because it was something about tire.
Yeah, they don't want to purposely design a tire that
fails.
degrades
Yeah.
and fails to keep the excitement of the pit strategy.
That's right.
That's true, because if they build the right set of tires, they can run all
For sure.
for the whole.
The technology exists.
Yeah.
I believe, but it's just they like the drama of a pit stop. Because think about it, what do you really need to? You don't need fuel anymore. You start and finish with the same fuel.
Yeah.
Other than the tire change.
That's true, eh?
Right.
It would take that whole pit stop.
Well, the pit
strategy
stop
out
is
of
a
the way.
strategy game that has a lot to do with
Adds-
the winning position.
It adds drama into this, into the race.
Well, kudos to Michelin saying we're not going to build a deteriorating tire just for the purpose of
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
There.
Well, Formula One used to have multiple tire companies,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't just Pirelli.
But I think they've been the leader in F1
In
modern
the
F1
last decade,
Yeah.
whatever.
So that's your best
That is my best OEM wheel. And as I
of
said,
all, even like,
yeah, like I think when I look at that, it's just iconic. Like you see the wheel, you know the car.
yeah. Well, it's a bit confused. Well, you can no longer tell because there are all these other aftermarket wheels that look similar. So when you see them now, you can't really tell if it's F40 wheel.
Right. But that's the OG
Yeah.
for me, because I don't think anything before, like some of the other Ferraris had similar wheel designs, but
Sorry, Eric, I thought you said OZ because OZ also makes a wheel like that.
OG.
OG. All right, let's move on to maybe the
My
best.
best
Aftermarket.
aftermarket wheel. This is hard, and this is such a subjective thing, but I love this setup. So that's of course a Dodge Viper. Everyone knows I love those. And it's an HRE wheel. It's a P45 SC. I don't think they make the wheel, but if you know somebody, maybe they can make that happen for
The
you.
resident HRE rep right here.
Yeah. It's just it's a cool motorsport look. It's not a heavy, a lot of visual mass to the wheel. It's sort of light,
Yeah, we talked about
performance
it.
based.
Yeah. And we talked about black wheels.
Yeah.
And I think there was an era where black wheels were coming in, and now I think people are gravitating away from black wheels a little bit.
So I think actually black wheels have been getting more popular these days. Because if you look at all the performance cars out there, like a lot of M models, the GT models, black wheels are almost a standard on all those cars right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a build up to black wheels up to this point. I think it's now that they might take a turning point and go back to the traditional silver wheel.
Yeah.
But they've been becoming more popular within the past, I think, 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Reaching, I think, a high point this year.
I think it's so much, like you made a point too. I think so much depends on the color of car that it's going on.
The trim and everything.
And I think that can make a difference. And the brakes, like, what type of brake you're looking at. Because in a wheel like that, it's a very open face.
Yeah.
You can kind of see.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great looking wheel. I think it's timeless. I think in 10 years, I think that wheel still looks good. I mean, that is probably, I don't know if it's 10-year-old.
That's a
and just
10-year-old wheel.
shout out to Tuner Works in Calgary. No, they just honestly, they've been great.
They did a great job.
Yeah, they do a lot of good work, and they were really good about, because I was inquiring about wheels and the setup, and they sent me offsets and everything. They were really kind. So they got follow them. They do a lot of cool mods on their customers' cars.
Let's
It's a cool backdrop. It's like a stone cement wall.
Yeah,
it's like a
like it.
parking lot.
No, it's like a bat cave.
Yeah.
yeah. And so that is one of my favorite aftermarket wheel looks.
Would you do that on your GTS?
If I changed, yeah, I might. I don't know how like on the Porsche. I do like the mesh designs that more than.
So that might, every time I think of, let's say, a Porsche and 5-spoke, you're like, I don't know. And then you see the Bodenhaus GT3 with the 5-spoke 305s, and you're like, wow, that looks good. I think until you see it in person and until you see it driving and the wheels spinning, I always had a soft spot for 5-spokes, like five, and I think these still look awesome just because you can see the rotation driving slow, and it adds so much more drama to the car.
And they look bigger.
They do look bigger.
Like just fills out the
that's right.
the space of a lot more.
Yeah. And then, so do you want to hear my worst OEM wheel?
Yeah.
There it is.
Ooh.
So, everyone knows I love Mustangs. I've had a couple.
Did you have those?
I had this generation. It was my first one. This is a 94, 95.
It's a dual penis
that they
wheel.
had I guess. It's called, I think, the tri-bar. It's so it's like a three, kind of looks like a 3-spoke wheel.
Yeah.
They're 17 inches. And, when I look at that, I mean, like you can see the dirty version looks awful. There's so much I don't like about, I don't like a 3-spoke wheel, but.
It's like really 6-spoke.
It's awful.
There's just not a symmetry to it, really.
Yeah.
And
stumpy.
when you saw that on the car, as offensive was, I think it's like, I don't know, it's like 6 inches wide or something like that. It's like, it's very thin. So
But you know what? When this car was out and you saw that car with those wheels, you're like, GT.
Yeah.
You knew it was a GT. You're like, that's a premium Mustang because it had those wheels.
I had the 98 version, so the last of this body style, and it had the 5 spokes, which I think it was actually a pretty cool looking wheel.
Yeah.
But I think they made wheels as narrow as that you
Yeah.
say because of usability as well, right? Like in the winter, it grips better.
I don't know, but I think it's more availability of tire sizing,
Tires,
everything
yeah.
else. I mean,
Costs.
it costs too, but
Reduce
they didn't have like a 305 on the shelf back then.
Yeah,
It was like a 245.
You're right, Lucas. I think that was like a 245, 45, 17 rear.
And these were like Ford made.
Yes,
It's not
yeah.
like they went to a
No,
third
yeah,
party.
it's
Yeah, I'm
Ford
pretty sure that was
specific.
Ford
Yeah.
or, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, it's a dark day in Mustang history, I think.
I think they've gone better. Like a huge amount. Like
Sure.
I love the GT350 wheels.
Love it, yeah.
Like it's a mesh design.
No, they're
too,
even
right?
Yeah.
like Mustangs are even come with carbon fiber wheels
Yeah.
for the 350R.
Yeah.
Like, and the Ford GT has carbon, so Ford's doing some cool things with
Yeah.
wheels. This just wasn't it.
And I think technology is allowing them to build these more intricate designs now. Mm-hmm. And it's almost
Yeah.
readily accessible for
Right.
people that want to build wheels or make wheels. The technology's there, CAD renders, and you can.
I'm sure these are all cast wheels back in this era, right?
Yeah, they're
Like,
not forged. No, they're definitely
those are
cast.
definitely not. But
No.
but even a high-end car wouldn't have had forged wheels back then.
They wouldn't.
No.
like
no.
these were cast.
3-piece. It's a
So the lips are obviously they're not forged lips because they're just regular lips. The centers on that one were probably forged because considering it's a F40 and
Yeah.
but I may be wrong. I mean, cast was pretty standard and popular back in the day. The forging process was not really was not trending.
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds good. So that's
That's the best
your
and
pick.
worst for me.
Let's move on to Lucas.
Yeah. So I think that one of the two of the best designs that I think are timeless and classic, like that AMG aero wheel. Like you could take that off the car and put it, isolated from the car, and you'd know that it's an AMG wheel. And that wheel was popular for probably about 10 years. I think the last cars, even like a 2002 ML, had that wheel on the AMG model.
Yeah.
It was a really very Mercedes-esque design that grew really popular. And not only that, but it's a factory 3-piece polished lip wheel. Like, this is an aftermarket wheel these days.
These designs are coming back
They are.
in a
Yeah.
monoblock,
Right.
and I love that sort of filled out look.
Yeah.
On certain cars now.
Yeah. I think a compliment to this wheel is you saw a bunch of the Volkswagen crowd would put their car in airbags and they would source
The AMG
these
wheels.
to
Yeah.
put, it's a 10, 15-year-old wheel, putting it on their newer
that's true.
Volkswagens.
Yeah. And the thing is with these wheels, since they were 3-piece, you could actually reconfigure them to fit any other car with that bolt pattern. So that's how they ran like a Mercedes center on custom barrels and lips on a Volkswagen GTI, for example, or a Mark IV,
So back in those times, these multi-piece wheels were far more popular than monoblocks.
100%.
Yeah.
Is it mainly because of manufacturing costs and
The technology.
I think also I think if we go back to the forging aspect, cast wheels never looked as good
Yeah.
as a 3-piece because you can customize these to a far greater extent.
Yeah.
Opposed to cast wheels. Now with forged wheels and full CNC billet blocks, you can carve anything you want out of the wheel, engineer it with strength in mind, and they're nice wheels, right? So I think most of the older wheels were nicer in a 3-piece format.
And it's and I've heard people say that it's very motorsport specific as well, right? It's
Yeah.
not when you want to go off and buy like a 3-piece set today, they will kind of warn you. It's like, are you sure this is what you want? They're soft. They're not as like you hit a pothole in this, you could likely bend it a little bit more than like you get a forged wheel,
Yes and no.
and they're softer, right?
Yes and no. I mean, the lips aren't forged. The new ones are. The new, like H3 has an FMR lineup where they're 2-piece now, but the barrel and the lip is forged, and so is the center. So they're strong, they're customizable. You can play with lip sizes and
Yeah.
stuff. So the technology now is not like it used to be in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
I have from a looks perspective, I'd say multi-piece wheels work and they're appealing. But from an overall maintenance perspective,
That's what gets me out of
Yeah.
them. Like,
Yeah.
just the thought. I'm looking at that wheel, thinking, oh, like all the little rivets or whatever. That
I have big gripes with that one too.
Yeah.
well, your BBS were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was almost tempted to put those up as like some of my worst wheels, but then I thought to myself, look, I'm generally against the multi-piece design from
Yeah.
a maintenance perspective. From a looks perspective, I think it looks great, great options.
So I never really had an issue with the maintenance aspect. Just I think CCBs help a lot, but also the way you spec them, right? So like I had HRE 300s, which are a mesh wheel, so you can't really clean inside through the spokes.
Yeah.
So like
Was that hard for you?
it wasn't because I spec'd them. They were a bright finish, but I had the barrels finished in like a high metallic gray charcoal. So
hides it.
you couldn't really see road dust on a charcoal metallic barrel. So I would take them off like once every month or 2 months and just wipe them down inside.
Every other drive.
Yeah.
Call them the BS on that.
Yeah.
Off-
No,
off
I'm
jacks.
serious. They actually didn't need maintenance. As long as the faces were clean, the barrels didn't look dirty because they were already charcoal and metallic. So it's
So because you had carbon ceramic brakes, it helped a lot.
like I think that's the main cause. That's the main reason they weren't bad wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the 911, like with the BBS wheels, it was caked up in brake dust after one drive. And I'm like, man, I want to clean it. But then it gets...
Yeah, it's
annoying.
futile.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm
Center
gonna clean it.
lock
I'm gonna move it
wheels.
out of the garage, and
Yeah.
now it's dirty again.
So the biggest thing for me with the 85s, BBS E85s, I think,
Yes. Okay.
E85, yeah.
or E88, I can't remember.
You had EO7s or E85?
Oh, EO7s.
EO7s,
right.
yeah.
The way the lips were, they were rolled inwards.
So just like a collection of dust and debris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to take it out normal with a rag and try to get in, and it ends up pushing it in further.
Right.
And then over time, it's like, I think it started hurting
The balance
of the wheel as well, right?
Yeah.
So if you have the patience to go and clean it out properly, then it's okay. I was so impatient because I'm always rushing to get somewhere or whatever, and I didn't want it to look dirty.
Yeah.
And now I have to go in there with the brush and do all this sort of...
Well, let's put maintenance aside.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different
Yeah.
like a topic, right? But like wheel design,
Yeah.
they're very nice looking wheels. I think there's a lot of dimension and depth to them. Like the rear on that Mercedes, like I mean, it looks awesome. It looks thicker, it looks wider. That could be a 9-inch wheel, but it looks aggressive.
Yeah.
Do you think that the application matters too? Like you're not gonna. That's not to me like a GT3 RS type of wheel.
No, definitely not. I think it's more of a road classy kind of setup, right? This is another. This is not a BBS RS, but the RS was very similar to that, and it was popular amongst a lot of models in the 80s, like Porsche, Volkswagen,
Volkswagen used that a lot.
BMWs. Like there was factory BMW 5 Series sedans with these wheels on them.
Yeah.
So they were a very, very popular wheel, and the RS is still popular. Like it's people are using it on a lot of vintage builds with that are rebarreled, relipped, slant lips, like full extent modifying a wheel alone. So very popular. And
Back in the day, no carbon brakes.
yeah,
So I mean, people dealt with it,
Yeah.
people didn't care.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden
They care too much.
Wait, this coming.
You are people. You are people. Okay.
You have brainwashed so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never used to care until I get the ridicule from these guys.
Yeah.
And even if they don't say it, they look and then they
Then like
yeah.
Especially when Lucas goes and like starts wiping.
He brings out
his hair.
white gloves.
I only do that to Peter. It's the only person I do it to.
You've done that to me too.
Yeah, I have.
It's like I remember the GT3 RS when we were I guess doing the unveiling or
Yes.
whatever at your house.
He brought it over and the wheels were. I'm like, what are you doing? This car's dirty. I bring up the detailer and I start like cleaning his barrels inside.
Well, no, first he goes like he just like, oh, look at this, and then he looked, the reaction was just like,
Yeah.
I just stepped
He
on
stepped
film.
in dog poop.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's funny. Yeah, it's the same for me. I never cared about the brake dust, and I was always about the saving the costs of the car. 10, 15 grand you save, get the car you want, brake dust, you can clean it up. And then you start to realize it's tedious to do that. And now I don't want to deal with brake dust.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So those are the best OEM wheels.
Okay.
Yep. This is
No, the worst wheel.
this
Yeah.
is this is probably, and I've been through, I think this is my third or fourth set of this wheel because I keep coming back. I tried something else, and I love the design of the R101 lightweight HRE.
Yeah.
It's not only is it extremely light and strong, like I'm running a 20-inch setup front and rear, and like the front is a 20 by 9.5, and it weighs 16.2 pounds. Wow. It's ridiculously light.
Yeah.
It's extremely sculpted. You can see how deep the pockets are that lead towards each like lug bolt. It's just a beautiful design wheel, and I think this is a timeless wheel. The original, I think, introduction of a 5-spoke split was the P101, and I had a set of P101s, and this took it to the next level.
How many HRE wheels have you owned? Like
12,
I know you said
12.
3 or 4 of these, but like
Yeah, like 11 or 12 sets.
at 11 or 12 of them, all the wheels, and you've owned other brands too.
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it. This is, and
So-
it's not just the top HRE. I think like this is like my top favorite wheel, and I think this will look good. This will look good on a track car. It'll look good on a street car. It'll look good in different finishes.
Yeah. You did Megan's and
Megan's cars on that. Honestly,
This is brushed clear. Is that
this is just brush clear. Yeah.
clear? Yeah.
so have you gone through 12 sets on the M3?
Yes.
That's not counting the other cars.
Yeah.
This should be an intervention.
Yeah.
Lucas, you have a problem and it affects us.
No,
in
I don't have a
following ways.
problem. This is a healthy obsession, by the way. I don't do drugs.
That's a good justification.
I drink on occasion at the podcast.
Yeah.
But I just like I like HRA as a brand because they have a long history.
Yeah.
It's a quality product. It's engineered. I feel confident putting them on any car, and also their designs are not overdone.
Yeah.
A lot of companies, they try to overcompensate by over designing the wheels and making too many cuts, too many holes, too many lines. And this is like the perfect example of a classic, well-designed and engineered wheel that fits honestly like a plethora of modern day cars and designs and looks good. So
Yeah, I've seen this on GT3 cars,
very popular.
M4s, M3s.
Yep.
And
This is your old house. So this is
This is my old house. Yeah.
couple
So
years
yeah.
old.
So this is my first set of R101s, and I had a tinted set. I had a few of them. So
what's on your car right now?
so I have these wheels again.
The exact.
Exact different spec. It's a more aggressive, but the same wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you get more aggressive.
It's millimeters. Like yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did we put
Worst wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Worst wheel.
Worst wheel.
Let's go to
Okay.
worst wheel.
Shabow. That is an ugly ass wheel. I don't know. Like, I mean, the car is. You can say whatever you want about the car. I mean, I don't love the new XM either. But this geometric prism of a wheel, just
This looks like something my daughter would design in Minecraft.
right. You know those things.
Probably where it took place.
Yeah, you know those things you put up. Like, I guess you spin the wheel of those old like '90s toys, and they have these prisms that show up.
Oh,
Kaleidoscope?
Yeah, that's a kaleidoscope.
your-
That's literally like a kaleidoscope wheel.
I wonder.
It's a 23-inch wheel.
That's a 23-inch. Yeah.
I guess it matches the character of the car.
It doesn't,
because
though.
it's so
That's not
boxy.
saying.
I don't think it does even. I think like they're trying to go with like the angular lines of the sides, but they could have put a better wheel in this car. It's just I don't know.
I would say I love the finish, the way it flops different colors.
Sure,
Is,
like
that, is that black? Like three? Is there 3 shades
two.
of?
There's two. It's gloss black
With
and
the-
like a patina rose kind of gold.
Okay.
And that flops between like silver to
Yeah,
gold.
the finish is great. Like
Yeah.
I don't argue that. The huge 12-inch center cap is like god awful, and then everything. I think the design doesn't flatter the car. That's all.
So I wonder if there'll ever come a day because you're a BMW fan, boy.
I am
Where-
definitely not. I just said the car
I
was
know,
awful
but
and the wheels are bad.
Okay. You have a lot of BMWs.
The good
Will
ones.
there ever come a day where BMW will release anything that doesn't get shit on? Like, right? Like it
so-
feels like they're just
so they
and
just
it-
released a new car, a new concept car, which is like a touring,
the shooting
coupe,
brake.
a shooting brake car, and I think that car, the lines are very much different than what they introduced like on this car. It looks much classier, and it's very like Zagato-ish in terms of design.
Yep.
And I think like you have to remember, like these cars, like no one's buying a shooting brake Z4 looking kind of car to compete with like a GT3 Touring. It's a different kind of car, a different kind of purpose. It's a street car that's more elegant and more. It's just they have their own niche market for that kind of for that kind of car.
no, but it just
That's
seems
the one, yeah.
increasingly that everything that BMW is releasing, like whether it's the G80 grill,
Yeah.
like everything it seems to be questionable.
Yeah,
No one like when that actually looks okay.
Yeah.
But I look forward to the day where BMW releases something and everyone holds hands and says that's amazing.
yeah.
But you know, it's happened every single time with a new generation of cars with BMW.
It's always controversial.
Yeah.
and then everyone says
Do you think the F80
it was controversial.
Really?
Yeah.
It was actually, and yeah, the biggest thing I remember reading about it is that they introduced the hood line above the bumper.
Yeah.
So before every single 3 Series, the hood finished at the kidney grills, and then the F80,
Yeah.
they decided to put the hood line above the bumper, above the kidneys, and everybody was, oh, it's so distracting. It doesn't make any sense. And anyways, now it's considered. A lot of people say it's the one of the nicest designed M cars, modern day M cars that they've done. So it's, I mean, it's opinions, right? At the end of the day, it's people like and people don't.
And it takes a bit of time for people to get used to those designs.
Yeah.
It looks bonkers at first, and then your eyes start to get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? The E46 transition to the E90? Is that?
Yes.
And that was a big thing too. When the E46 first came out, they were like, what the hell is this? And then the E90 was a big transition away from the E46.
Well, not
as
only in terms of design, but it had a whole motor. Like it was a V8, and they were known for their like inline sixes, right? So, but now like they hold a special place in like everyone's heart in terms of a classic BMW performance sedan, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's time will tell, right?
Even the Z4, people crapped on it.
People crapped on. I had a Z4M coupe,
Yeah.
and Bangle was very controversial in terms of design. Now that I look back at the car, the design made even more sense. It's looking at today's designs and how that car was designed. It was an art form, right? So maybe too ahead of that time.
Yeah.
but makes more sense now. So
It's almost like I find designers are thinking years ahead.
Like they're ahead of the customer.
yeah,
In terms
yeah.
And with a lot of things in technology too, right? They're far ahead because they've done the research. They've figured out, okay, what could work, what would not work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the customers are not quite there yet.
Yeah.
We think
Yeah.
of the now.
Yeah, and
not
there's
about-
it's okay, right? The famous Henry Ford quote that if he had asked his customers what they wanted, they would have told him a faster horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Versus
That's exactly
the
it.
automobile. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe like you say, maybe it's a slow burn and we come around to it.
Yeah.
But I compared it to like when I don't know, pick Ferrari when it releases something new. I think generally it's well received.
Yeah.
Say
for,
that.
for the most part, it is. I think it is.
Yeah, I think most.
Yeah.
Like which Ferrari do you think's been released that has been heavily panned? Or
Okay,
even
from a looks perspective,
Yeah, that's what
I'd say, people
Yeah.
generally agree to the,
Yeah,
the overall design. Well, sorry, what about the 4-door Ferrari?
one?
the FF?
No, that's a 2-door.
No, with back seats.
Oh, the
Pure
coupe.
Sang?
No. Prior to that, the FF was two.
No, that was 2-door, 4-seater. Not, it was never 4-door.
Oh, sorry, 2-door, 4-seater.
Yeah, so the FF, or after it was the what's the
Evolution.
The Lusso.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
I thought that got some flack for its design, no? Because it looked kind of
I thought
odd.
it looked okay.
The Lusso got more flack.
Yeah.
I think the FF was a more fluid design, but again, like
Subjective.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So worst wheel.
Worst wheels of the modern era. Of all the brands, this is the one that
yeah.
stands out.
I especially seeing it in person, I just yeah. Definitely not a BMW fanboy. I just respect cars for what they are. If I see something shit, I call it
Sensitive
out.
about that. Very
Yeah.
sensitive.
This is something that we put up as well. We said we were just talking about the better aftermarket options out there.
Yeah.
There's a new trend that folks are going to carbon fiber wheels, right?
I think it's not necessarily a trend. I think it's like, okay, I've already bought the most expensive wheel there is. It's forged.
Yeah.
What can I get that's cooler and more
Yeah.
bespoke?
So what is the bet? Like it's going to be lighter. It'll be lighter than your wheel.
It'll be lighter.
For 100%.
100%.
Stronger.
Yeah.
Stronger, but like really though? Like think
know
about I don't have a lot of confidence in like in a pothole situation.
Come shatter.
Right? I think under ideal driving circumstances the strength is there, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't comment because I haven't seen the specs, right? It's hard for me to say whether it's stronger compared to the like
I haven't had
forged.
too much anxiety with a
Yeah.
wheel like that.
And what was it? Mustang does carbon fiber wheels as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you, for any reason, hit a pothole and you damage the wheel, getting a replacement wheel is not easy.
And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, that Shmi, we talked about that before. How much was that? Would that be a $5,000 or $10,000 wheel?
OEM Ford wheel. I'm assuming it's more affordable than something.
I don't.
This is,
think
10
yourself.
grand a wheel?
It's probably 10 grand a wheel.
Yeah, like this wheel, like this setup is about 24,000 for a set.
US.
US, yeah.
Freaking hell, man. I just can't think of spending that much money.
If I bought a car, like if I bought a GT350R that came with carbon fiber, I would take them off and I would put a HRE
Ford set.
wheel, whatever,
Yeah,
and just put those safely away for a set. Like,
Yeah.
I would.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I get people have to innovate and do something to better their current offerings, and carbon fiber wheels are the way they're going for the lighter unsprung weight for better performance or whatever. But majority of the population will never see the benefit of these wheels.
You know
Other
what?
than
It's
the-
also let's say you don't like black wheels. You probably won't like carbon fiber wheels because the carbon fiber aside, it's a dark colored wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's say you can choose the center because the center is forged, right? So you choose a brush center, but then you want a big dark black lip
Yeah.
on it'll look like a 12-inch rim. So you don't if you don't like dark wheels, you won't like the carbon fiber wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And for me, I find the wheels shrink a little bit
If what?
because of this sort of the carbon fiber lip.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's always dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer something that just fills out the space more, less tired.
That's why
less,
the monoblock big
I think
wheel look.
like these wheels work with a very dark anthracite or a matte black center.
Yeah.
That's how they're meant to be designed. If you're introducing color into the center, you lose the outer lip. It just looks like it's a floating center, right?
How does that compare to magnesium wheels? Carbon fiber.
In terms of what weight,
Weight and strength.
I'd say-
Magnesium's
lighter.
better.
I'd say it's probably lighter.
Yeah. Oh, even lighter than carbon fiber, right?
No, carbon
this is
fiber would
lighter.
be lighter
Lighter.
than
Okay.
magnesium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But remember, magnesium is not like it's a lighter like material for wheel, but with the technology in forged aluminum, they're almost the same weight. I don't think there's a huge advantage to magnesium wheels unless it's for a very specific application where they're designed for a car. But I don't think it's like I'm not sure why you'd want.
I'm sure if magnesium is better, you'd see Formula One cars with them. But Formula One cars are now running carbon fiber, so
That's
it
true.
probably tells you
Yeah.
it's the lightest, best option to use.
They're carbon fiber monoblock wheels.
monoblock.
Yep.
But you've seen like F1 cars hit barricades and the wheels fall off and they're
shatter.
yeah. So you know what I mean?
They're meant to do that, I guess, right?
I think so. Yeah, to a certain degree. Remember, they have to also take some impact, right? So you want that to transfer throughout the car either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can you compare hitting the corner at Monza at 300 kilometers an hour with driving in Gatineau? I would take the corner at Monza.
Yeah.
Same stress level.
Oh, that's funny. And the F1 guys have spare wheels where we
Yes.
don't have spare
Yeah.
wheels when
Yeah.
we hit a pothole.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
All right, Prabhul, your picks.
Yeah.
Let's
see.
go to my best looking wheel.
What?
This was a cool design. The OEM wheel that's coming from like the Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Okay.
I just think this is so cool. Like, what is it?
But you think this is the best
That's the
wheel
best.
design?
Modern era.
What?
What?
No?
I don't
just
know.
love that.
It's kind of like just like there's no spokes, right?
Like aero.
Oh, yeah, it's an
Air
air
disc.
disc. Yeah.
Air disc, yeah.
And
But is that, sorry, what am I looking at? Like, is
It's
that,
a Valkyrie.
no, I know the car, but like, is it like a reveal to the center lock? And is there, if I took that aero disc out, is there something underneath that? Or is that all just one design?
I have no idea.
Is that a rear wheel? A real wheel? Or is it
Is
a render?
I don't know. I didn't do the research. I should have. Hey, I just
Your
looked at-
best wheel may or may not even exist. Okay,
fine.
here.
Okay, let's go to realistic.
Okay.
Pick. Oh, you got two. Of course, he gets two.
So I
This looks absolutely
Wait,
epic, by the way.
Are you already on the aftermarket then?
oh sorry.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
the
you're right.
GT3
You're
RS?
right. Yeah. So I'm all over the place right now. Okay, best realistic OEM wheel I would say is the new GT3 RS Wyzak in my eyes.
Is that, how different is that from yours?
It's totally different.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like,
It's like a different design completely. His are like a flowerish kind of round section design wheels.
you've really caught me by surprise by selecting a Porsche in your.
So here's the
You know,
Yeah, I see.
go to a bronze
go to
wheel or a
different
silver
color
wheel.
down there.
Yeah, right there.
That'll do it. Okay, I see.
It has like a
It's more organic.
Yeah.
Roundish.
roundish, yeah. It's
it works with the
does.
curves of the,
Yep.
the 911.
Got it.
But this is almost like BBS FIR wheels.
very similar, yeah.
Definitely.
It could be BBS wheels.
So
Well,
they're
are.
actually like they're like a hybrid between the FIR and an R101 leg brake because they have the holes in between the spokes like an
cutouts,
FIR.
yeah.
But they have the sculpted spokes like an R101. So I think it's like they merged two of the lightest, best wheels on the market to an OEM application, right?
So these are magnesium wheels.
Yeah.
And that's how those cutouts apparently are possible because they're more structurally sound in magnesium. But if you try to do that same design with cutouts in
Aluminum.
it wouldn't work apparently.
Yeah, it's a nice wheel.
Yeah,
Very motorsport.
trying to get these similar type of wheels designed with our person.
Do you think that like that's a very iconic? Like I associate that with a 911, but does that go on? Like, does any other manufacturer use that?
Design?
Yeah,
Like a 5-spoke split OEM?
yeah.
Not really. This is it's kind of like an aftermarket look.
Well, I guess Porsche's bringing that forward.
Well,
Even their
you know what? I think they're capturing, they're looking at the market. They're like 60% of our clientele is purchasing BBS and HREs for their car. Let's just make a wheel that they can option through us instead and not have to you know what I mean?
So here's what they used to do.
That's the
The
Wyzak.
Wyzak,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
previous gen, right? And
Yeah.
this is a very common design.
A little busier than the 992 version. But when I'm looking at, sorry, the 992, how different is that from my BC Forge KL01?
It's very
Yeah, I
similar.
was gonna say it looks.
So I think the R101, the BC Forge
KL1.
KL101, and the FIRs, they all have very similar.
They're all 5-spoke splits based on the original P101. That's what they all follow. The same way the P40 was the pinnacle of mesh design, and everybody copied that design for a while, right? But 5-spoke splits were introduced with the P101. That's what it was.
But these were BBS designs.
But that's not a 5-spoke split. That's just a mesh wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But even this was like originally a BBS design, like back in the day.
Yeah.
They kind of came out with monoblock designs like this for motorsport. And then it
Yeah, I
started
think
getting
you're right.
copied.
Which wheel are you referring to? The first one that that was.
FIRs.
Yeah, but that's a mod. That's not back when. That's like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, but they have a similar design. If you look at all of their historic wheels they used in motorsports and whatnot, they all have that FIR type of lines. Like it looks very much like these.
Yes.
And now it's being copied by a lot more folks,
Yeah.
I think.
But that's a BBS wheel, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a BBS wheel.
Porsche, I think BBS makes a lot of the Porsche wheels.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Especially in the magnesium world.
Okay.
So that's my best
Yeah, I love it.
realistic OEM wheel.
Okay.
And it's modern. And this is like maybe futuristic.
Yeah. That's Tron.
My best aftermarket wheel, I had a couple of options, but after we started talking about it, I thought I had to bring the
Yeah.
Twist HRE twists.
Yeah.
What are they called?
What's the name
It's
of
the
the wheel?
502M. Is that no?
No,
It's the new 500 series, but I forget what number that is.
I think that's a 502.
Yeah,
M?
yeah.
I just love that design, and it almost makes me want to just get rid of all the cars and find a car that would
Adapt to the wheels.
Adapt to the wheels.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I want to put it on the RS.
Yeah.
But it would just look a little out
Well,
of
I think this wheel is really it's specifically designed for
GT3.
Porsches, right?
Yeah.
And road Porsches in general. So like this on a they actually put this on a touring, and it looked
It felt like it broke the internet.
it did break the internet. It broke the internet.
Now, is this like inspired by the turbo twists
Yes.
of
Yes.
old,
Yes.
and they modernized it? Oh, very cool.
They actually had an old version of this, which is also an RS wheel that came in a monoblock, and it came in a 3-piece format of this design, but it wasn't as sculpted. It was more of a flat face with the twist design, and they did quite well. But then they took them off the lineup. They were gone for 2 years, and then now they reintroduced this wheel, which is their replacement for the RS, right?
Just the shape of it and the way the light hits it and the brushed finish. I guess it's brushed.
No, so actually,
That looks like a painted.
so these wheels I think look best in a glossy painted format because there's so much shapes and contours to these wheels that the brushing would actually take away from that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find more pictures of this.
That's a gloss silver.
Oh, look at
Yeah, so that's a touring.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Just the way the light reflects off of it and creates depth into the wheel.
But can you imagine this car driving past you at like 60 miles per hour and those things just like rotating?
Do you think they did not go aggressive enough in the offsets in that setup?
Dub Spec would not approve.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's probably very close to OEM spec.
Yeah.
From a performance standpoint, I think I would keep close.
Well,
to
mind you,
OEM.
they're oversized. That's a 22-inch setup,
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's not really OEM. But they could be more aggressive, I think. Yeah.
actually, you're right. So I think if you did that in like the OEM sizing, it wouldn't look as good.
No,
It just too much tire to.
I mean
wheel.
it would look good. I went OEM sizing on the Carrera in terms of aftermarket wheels,
but not these designs.
No.
That's what I mean. Like with
yeah,
these
I
designs.
think this design it needs to be 22.
Yeah.
like 21, 22.
Yeah.
stagger.
Because the less tire you see, the more of the wheel you see,
Yeah.
the more it has presence on.
Is that Aventurine green?
No, that's actually an agate.
Oh, I got it.
But it does look like Aventurine from some, I guess, depending on the pictures. Yeah,
Yeah. Looks good.
beautiful. It just complements the car so well, right?
Especially that finish on that paint. That when I saw this rolling, I was like, okay, gray is cool again.
Yeah, gray is cool.
Yeah.
Mind you, this agate was always a warm gray.
Yeah.
It was like
Had a lot of brown
like
to
a
it.
browny sandy gray, right? So the frozen champagne just with the yellow CCBs. I think they even got the custom champagne logo made on the door, right, to match the wheel. Like it just looks good.
Those are factory.
Not
in that
no,
color,
because it's not yellow.
You can get those colors. It's not yellow. It's you can do Arum stickers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So maybe they're Aurum, but they may have just cut them to
Yeah.
to match the car, right?
So
Mind you, that
Interesting that our best aftermarket wheels are all HRE. So
did you pick HREs as well?
I did.
Yeah.
My P45.
Yeah, that's right. That-
Lucas.
You know what's crazy though? We picked them, but to fork out almost $8,000 for a set, 12 grand for a
12.
set.
12
it depends what wheel. There's honestly, you can get like a lot of the 300 classic like monoblocks. They're much more affordable. They start at $1,800 a wheel US. So they're not. You won't break the bank buying like
And maybe after they see this podcast, it'll be
Sponsor.
yeah.
discounts.
But again, if you're going with like the carbon stuff or like the lightweight series, they're expensive. They're 3,000 a wheel plus finishes, right?
For me, even 12 grand for a set is a bit pricey.
Yeah.
In my books, I'm not quite balling enough to be able to just drop 12 grand and feel okay about it.
You know what? Think of the HREs like a Porsche. Because really, you don't lose on them when you sell them. They're a quality wheel that holds value. So if you invest the money into wheel, you'll lose some money on resale, but not a huge chunk.
Yeah.
If you buy a lesser wheel, you might lose a lot more.
Yeah.
Your cost of ownership is what you should think
Yeah.
about. and could be zero.
But these are not the wheels that you buy and flip in a season.
no, but
because
no,
then
no.
you'll never
You keep
run.
unless you're Lucas.
Yeah.
But the rest of us keep them for long.
Listen, I was doing 2 sets of summer, and we have short summers because I just wanted to get through like different wheels and everything else, right? But
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my favorite aftermarket set of wheels.
All good picks.
yeah,
There was a good contender when I was doing my little bit of research.
Mm-hmm.
AL13 is just coming up with such amazing wheel designs, and I love it.
I think you like the 5 spokes, five
Yeah.
spokes, right? Like the whole.
It just has like
That looks
presence.
like the modern Speedline F40 wheel.
It does. It also looks like a 305 HRA with
Yes.
a lip. I mean,
and that's this guy here, right?
exactly.
I do like it's a bit thicker, which I like, and I'd probably do them in a monoblock if I could.
Yeah.
Okay.
The-
like the
actually,
305.
if you're looking for a modern day 5-spoke wheel, the 527M from HRA is the definition of a modern day 5-spoke mono, because it has that vintage hub, like the star shaped hub, but it has the simplicity and the spokes of 527M.
Wait,
Yes, that one.
what's the difference between this and 507?
Well,
It's a
look,
little thinner. Right?
look, it's a bit thinner, more refined. The edges have the profile of an R101 lightweight. It's a bit curved.
Oh, it's
You see, and the center have that little star design.
that's actually nicer.
It's
I do like that.
it's a very nice wheel. Like I was considering this for the season, but I might do it in the fall.
Just to park it for
Yeah.
winter.
Photo leaf shoot.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
There were good secondary options as well, but then when I saw the twists, I'm like,
Yeah.
game over.
So
I just
you
don't have a
so
car
you
I can
scrap
put it
the aero disc Tesla wheels for the HREs. Good choice. Good choice.
No. So
Go down. I want to see what you chose there.
Worst.
This is the worst.
Okay.
This is the worst.
All right.
This is the worst OEM wheel out there.
Hold on. I disagree.
What is on the left? Is that a Tesla?
They're both the same
They
wheel.
both that say,
But they just they don't have the hubcap on it.
So to Tesla's defense, you get 2 wheels for 1.
Right.
This is fantastic.
so I'm just looking at it from an aesthetics perspective.
Yeah.
From a functionality perspective, bang on. I think they got it right. There's a lot to do with aero and efficiency and drag.
In your Model 3,
That impacts the mileage
Efficiency.
that you
Yeah,
get.
it does.
like
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
in a city driving at
Yeah.
40 kilometers an hour,
Well,
there's-
the commute on the highway maybe that
Maybe
has
more,
bigger
yeah.
impact.
But I can't. That's not a bad looking. That's a very nice looking wheel. That's like an Apex wheel.
I don't on the left. There's nothing wrong with that wheel.
Yeah, I think it's a good looking wheel. I mean, the aero disc. That's a really shitty looking aero disc.
If you owned a Model 3,
Yeah.
you would take the aero disc off and run it with that.
Yeah, I would.
That
Yeah.
was- yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably also just buy different wheels for it. But I mean, I would remove the aero disc. Yeah.
you just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me either. I can't. I don't like that aero disc. Aero discs are cool. Like I've seen some aero discs that look really nice and actually are fitting on a lot of the AMGs. Like the wagons have aero discs, or like the guy that runs the AMG GTs in Europe.
Yeah.
He runs aero discs.
Yeah.
Like I think from a rotor form
That
or
was
something.
that big spoil with the LED.
Yeah. And he pulls it off. Like it looks fantastic, right? So I like an aero disc, but it has
Yeah.
to be on a build that makes sense, right? That maybe type in Mercedes AMG GT aero disc.
Like these.
Yeah, like that's.
Yeah.
I mean, not that wheel in like not that one. Maybe
That looks really good.
it depends. Like that would look cool on like a Range Rover Autobiography and like a 24-inch in a color match.
I think,
you know,
I think that would look cool on like a Sierra Cosworth Resto
yeah,
mod.
yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I think it looks cool on some cars.
Was it the G63 you're talking?
No,
No, it's
AMG GT.
It's you've seen those cars. They got
Oh,
the giant
yeah.
spoil LED. The spoil is made in Poland.
or I guess GTR. Yeah, I think it's a guy.
Oh,
from
like
Poland.
look at this.
yeah, like that
looks cool.
That's cool.
That's dope.
yeah, it's very dope.
190.
Like this is what
That's still an aero disc in my opinion. Like it's more classic, right?
this is similar to your original pick as well for your best OEM wheel.
Um,
Was it not?
no, that was a 5-spoke. That's a multi-spoke.
But it's very close to an aero disc here. If you look,
In terms of like wheel surface area, then
Yeah.
I guess you can consider it an aero disc.
some really cool options.
Like, see the one there that has actually the spokes drawn onto the aero disc?
Where's this? This guy?
Go down
This
right
one.
there. Like, that's kind of like, if you even like scroll down on the black wheel, for example, you see what I mean?
Oh wow.
That's a modern day aero disc kind of design.
Think how easy that would be to keep clean.
You never have to see it.
People could actually, they PPF these wheels because you could just put PPF over the whole face.
That's true, eh?
Yeah.
What about heat though? Doesn't heat like hurt the PPF under hard braking?
There isn't that much heat.
No, there shouldn't be heat.
If we
on the
drive really
wheel.
hard and like on city streets, I go for a spirited cruise and park,
city-
touch your wheel, it's not hot.
But on track, it will.
I don't know why you'd PPF an aero disc if you're tracking the car. Like that's not a track wheel,
yeah.
right? It's more for
Show.
show or protection too. But
Sometimes I would have thought. I keep thinking if a design like this would work with the GT3 RS.
like the
Then it
MR,
takes away.
like the MR stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Mate Racing, that's an aero disc that
Yeah.
mounts on
Is that just incorporated into the center,
center
lock?
lock.
Yeah.
So you put the center lock on and it gives you the.
Yeah.
It's like a carbon fiber insert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's functional.
For drag, I guess, in the back.
Yeah, it routes air to the wing,
Okay. I thought it just diverts air from going into the wheel.
Yeah.
but it also goes back to the wing as well.
Okay.
I thought it just cleaned up the air passing.
Yeah.
That and when you adjust it with the angle of the wing, apparently it supports that as well.
Yeah.
So the guys from Nürburgring, like Misha, like his team was doing a
From
topic
Apex.
on that from Apex.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
There we are. Best and worst wheels.
Yeah, well, what do you all think? Do you agree with our picks as well? Do you have your picks that you would like to comment away? Let us know.
Yeah. Comment. See, I want to know what everyone's top wheel is. I'm just curious to like,
Yeah.
just let's just keep it to top wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so much
Yeah.
room for bad wheel in terms of,
Ronell teddy bears and they even had flowers, I think, at one point. Like
Yeah. What was it? The Alfa Romeo wheel.
yeah.
Do you know the one that I've
Yeah,
got?
yeah,
most
it's like the four
The rounded kind of
circles
style one.
carved
That
out.
was cool.
It's cool.
It's
I think it's very fitting.
for the car.
But that's on another wheel that when you see it, you know it's an Alpha wheel.
yeah.
It's kind of,
You put it anywhere else, it's like
no, it doesn't look good. Yeah. And that's hard. And that's hard to do with like a wheel, right?
Yeah, like this guy here.
No.
That one.
Yeah, that one kind of, but that's an aftermarket wheel, no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go down to like, let's say like right there on the polish, anyone, those for example, like those look awesome on the car.
It fits it really well.
Yeah, cool design, but it also flows with the design of the car, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carbon ceramics? I didn't realize it had carbon ceramic
yeah,
grips.
it did.
Why?
Yeah.
Why aren't we looking at Alfa Romeo
Reliability.
Trafogli?
I
Build
know.
quality, maybe. I don't know.
I know.
Well, it's Fiat interior components, which is GM components.
Yeah.
So I had that loaner when I dropped.
Oh, that's right. You did.
And it feels very, very cheap inside. Yeah. It's just none of the materials are premium.
Yeah.
The infotainment was like 15 years old in comparison to like the cars I have, right? So I think the image, even the exhaust, like it looks like a really big, thick exhaust tip, like 6-inch, but then you look inside, it's got 1.25 inch, like it's just it's more for looks than anything else.
I think they sound great.
Yeah.
I think I
mine
don't
did
think
it.
the styling is going to age well. Like of looking at the one right there.
So I have to argue that because
You think it'll age well?
so all Alphas, like that's how Alphas look.
Yeah.
If you look back 20 years, that's how Alphas looked. And in Europe, they did very well, to be honest. Like we're not used to it here because we're used to very like
Muscular.
dual grill or something designs. But this is
I don't know. When it first launched, I liked it, and they did a lot of comparison with the M3.
Yeah.
But now that I'm looking at it, I don't think it holds up still.
So take a look at this thing. I love
it looks pretty
what they
badass.
turned this into, and we can't get it here.
Yeah. The Shmi
Oh yeah, yeah. He's always got the European access, right?
goat. The YouTube goat. Yeah, but I mean, it's. I like it. I appreciate the car. I think it looks good.
Yeah. One day, if they ever bought this here, I would
That looks badass. That looks cool.
I would drop most of my cars and want to get in one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the power on this? Like what's
540.
Where'd you see that?
I think I saw it. I think it's 540 horsepower.
but it's the same six-cylinder V6, whatever. Yeah.
Anyways,
Want to wrap it up in the wheels?
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of digressed there a little bit, but that was good. It was impromptu. We
Yeah.
were kind of the schedules are all off a little bit with my car stories, so it's like I'm trying to find a balance here.
Yeah.
But I hope you all enjoyed this one. Let us know in the comment about the best OEM wheels that you would pick as well. Do you agree with our picks? Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you guys
Yeah. Have a good one.
doing this on a Saturday morning. Cheers.